Hi, my name is Devon, and we're going to be talking about 3 types of flora, 3 types of fauna. We're going to be talking about the flax, harakeke. We're going to be talking about rimu. We're going to be talking about the feel. We're going to be talking about the weka. We're going to be talking about the glowworms. And last but not least, the New Zealand tree fern. But first, let's go to the glowworms. Hey, we're here with glowworms. These are the glowworms. So, these glowworms are actually in the larval stage. You can see them glowing. And they stay in this larval stage for about 9 months, anywhere from 9 to 12 months. Their main goal is to hunt for food. How they do this is with the glow. The glow attracts insects, because bugs are attracted to light. The insect flies up to the glow, and they get caught in these little sticky strands that the glowworm sends down, as you can see. You can see those little sticky strands up here. These are made out of mucus and urea. Anyway, once the bug's caught up in that web, it reels it up, has a little munch. Once it's done this, it goes into the cocoon or the pupa, and then hatches out as a beautiful fungus gnat fly. Now this fly doesn't have a mouth or a digestive system, so it only lives for about 2 to 5 days. In this 2 to 5 days, it's got a newfound reproductive system. Now with this newfound reproductive system and all this mood lighting, they get down to business. They bang. They have sexual intercourse and they reproduce. Then the female lays anywhere from 100 to 200 eggs, and they lay them in clusters of about 10 to 20. On to Devon, he can tell you the rest. So the reason they do this is actually so the first one to hatch has some food and energy to eat. Doesn't have enough energy to make the lines or the glow, so it actually eats its unborn brothers and sisters. So when you see these beautiful glowing creatures, you're actually looking at cannibalistic glowing maggots with shiny bums. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Gulp. The Māori word for them is titiwai, and it means starlight reflection on the river, roughly. As you can see in the caves, the glowworm's light reflects on the river. They like to live in dark, moist environments, such as this one, and caves. Caves are the perfect one because it's dark and moist, and it's always dark, so they can always glow. Whereas these glowworms are out in the wild. They can only glow during nighttime, and when we don't shine the flashlight into them. They glow with enzymes such as luciferin and luciferate. That mixed with oxygen actually creates the light. So they actually have a gland they can open up to let more oxygen in or out. So when it's nighttime and they're ready to attract the prey, they open the gland, let oxygen in. When it's daytime and they don't need to glow anymore, they close it and stop the oxygen from going in, making the light stop. The size of the glowworm depends on the age and how much food it catches and eats. It can be anywhere from 3 millimeters to about the size of a matchstick. So the bigger the blue glow, the bigger the glowworm is. That's the glowworms. Hello, we're here in the backcountry of the South Island of New Zealand, the West Coast untamed wildlife. And I've just come across some harakeke flax. Harakeke flax was used by the Māori for ropes and dresses and baskets. Kete. Being here in New Zealand's wilderness has really filled my kete. This is flax, or if you're Māori, harakeke, or if you're scientist, Phorium tenax. Tui like to harvest the nectar from these flowers when they're living. These ones are not. The blades of the flax contain cocopotacins, which are poisonous to some animals and bitter to humans. Pretty cool, huh? It thrives in wetlands, riverbanks, and coastal cliffs, and takes about 6 to 8 years to fully mature into the flax you see in front of you. This is New Zealand tree fern. It's also known as weki, and it's my favorite thing in nature. It produces a few fronds, and they all sprout out in a vertical fashion. Spreads underground rhizomes which create dense groves full of the stuff. The species grows very fast, up to 80 centimeters in a year. We are now in the Point Elizabeth track where we've just found a wicker. It's wicking it up right now. Come take a look.
Wickers are super cheeky and like to steal your stuff.
So one time there was these American travelers and they were traveling through the backcountry of the South Island and they had these passports in a Ziploc bag. And basically while they were sleeping, the wicker unzipped the tent, unlocked the Ziploc bags, thinking it was food because they're so used to stealing they think all Ziploc bags are food. They opened up the passport bag, grabbed the passports and just ran away into the bush. And the travelers were like, oh my gosh, our passports, how are we going to get home? I bet that was funny in the passport office when they were like, oh, wicker took our passport. The moral of the story is make sure all your stuff is hidden from wickers. They actually did get the passports back in the end. They found it later on.
Is your wicker running?
I think so.
You better go catch it.
So long story short, guys, we didn't actually find a wicker. Let me tell you some facts. Wicker are one of many flightless birds in New Zealand. They're usually heard before they're seen. They sound like this. Wicker usually lay eggs between August and January. Both sexes help to incubate them. Wickers are omnivores. They mainly eat fruit, vegetations, and invertebrates, such as snails, worms, beetles, stuff like that. In the South Island, wicker are very common, whereas in the North Island, less common, due to a restricted population in places like Kawakawa Bay or Black Plenty. You know, I used to live in the North Island, and not a single wicker was seen. But since moving to the West Coast, brother, I can't seem to get away from them. Hey, this is a fern. This is what we were talking about earlier. Do you remember that, Neil? Rimu is an evergreen member of the podocarp species and has a lifespan of 700 years. It can reach up to 70 meters in height, and it likes to live in lowland to montane forest all over the North, South, and Stewart Islands. Rimu has several medicinal purposes for the Māori and was used to brew the first native beer of New Zealand by extracting the young tips of the branches. It was once the most harvested timber in New Zealand, but now it is protected by law. This big old tree can reach up to 60 meters in height. Wow, that's pretty tall, isn't it? There was one time in my cousin's backyard where they had a rimu tree, and that's where they built the. In my cousin's backyard, they built a little tree house in a rimu tree once. One time I fell out of it and went through all these sharp, prickly leaf things. They're very sharp. That's how you recognize it. That's enough. This is the feel, or the blue duck. It's on a $10 note, and it's quite synonymous with whitewood activities. It's a bluish greyish duck, and it lives on fast-flowing waters and high-altitude streamways. It requires unpolluted waterways, and they're very territorial. Feel mate for life, and usually stay in those breeding pairs in their claimed territory. Populations are patchy. They have a low reproductive success, and there's less than 3,000 feel in the wild. And they eat almost exclusively freshwater invertebrates. Feel have an incredible call. It's sort of like a whistle. It sounds like this. So that call is actually two feel, the male and the female. The male makes the whistling sound that you hear, and the female makes the grouchy sound. The reason they do this is one, to cut the river noise so they can hear each other through the river, and two, to alert each other of what's happening, like if a predator comes, they can both call to each other, they both know that they can hear each other, and three, to defend their territory because they're quite territorial. Yeah, so that's the blue duck. Hi, my name is Devon Jenkins, and thank you so much for watching. That was my ecology video. See you in the next one. Like, subscribe, follow. Peace out. Found it.